Now the cost of living has been stable since the early 60s. Hasn't gone up a penny. Nothing measurable, right? This gone up a penny, but this went down a penny. So all in all, it just was a wash. You understand? So the effect that we have with blaming minimum wage workers when really the opposite is true. I mean, you blame somebody for trying to stay even Steven. Of course, they need cost of living adjustments if their cost of living keeps going up. Otherwise, they're losing ground. So mathematically speaking, it's just like they got a pay reduction year after year after year, gradually cooked. They're cooked like the frogs. So that's what's happened. So mathematically, it's the same thing. Your cost of living stayed the same, but wages just kept going down. How can anybody justify that? On what basis? You're evil. Do you understand? You're ungodly. You're unethical. You're immoral. And see, these are the people I find unnerving, and they're everywhere. These kind of minions that think like that. They're just by extension they're joined at the hip with the top evildoers. They're going to the same place. A lot of these people are going to squeak into hell saying, "Oh, I thought I was going to church every week. I thought I was good." Your values are screwed up. You put money before God and man. Okay, you cannot love money more than you love people. Search your heart. Ask God to reveal if that's true. You're the one that's going to squeak into hell, and I'm trying to save you from the flames of hell that are lapping at your behind. But this is serious business, man. If you're evil, if you're disingenuous, if you're even a little bit elitist, okay, if you're not 100% egalitarian, to me is just translate to a good American, believing in full equality, very godly principle. Whose planet is this anyhow? Don't we all have a right to ask? Well, it's God's planet. We're all God's kids. Well, then why don't we get to share in it? Why don't we all have a stake in it? They're trading resources on Wall Street, and why can't we have a UBI and share the resources that are being traded? A Tobin tax, easy, painless. Do you understand how this thing could work? But there's all these evil people and the evil minions that go along with it. They just, oh, I get it. No, I've got to have something that they can't have, right? So what's bad for them has to be good for me. It goes on my side of the ledger. You understand? So the days are evil, my friends, and I'm telling you, watch your back for your own, soul and where it's going from here. Are your values corrupted? It's easy trap to fall into and to just brainwash ourselves, self-deceive, be self-delusional, and believe the wrong thing, and rationalize it and say somehow God understands, and you're illogical for not loving money and just being successful and going out and making a lot, and you just trying to you're trying to finger me because I'm prosperous and successful. I got a lot of money and I'm well-to-do and I've got financial freedom and security, and you're just a crybaby because you haven't made it, so you just want to finger the guys that have made it. Is that it? I mean, and it's just let the problem get worse and worse, and you just think it's fine to stay on the bandwagon and prescribe to that, hey, if you can't beat them, join them philosophy, and be a little mini elitist and just on the highway to hell and dragging others on with you. And you look like you're the ones that got it going on because you got a few bucks, and you might have a lot of bucks. I don't know, hundreds of thousands, millions. People make a lot of money. I mean, Max and Stacy, I mean, a lot of people making a couple 100,000. I mean, do you know what this effect this has on society? I mean, somebody making 100 grand, 200 grand in San Francisco, and they can't afford to be a homeowner. Do you know what that does to rents? When somebody that can't afford to be a homeowner, but they can afford to pay a few $1,000, that's nothing. That's easy for them. But do you understand the? So by us not doing anything, being complacent, indifferent toward what's going on here, we're a huge part of the problem, and we're going to pay the price at some point in our existence, because this is about eternity. You can't get off this ride. So we all need to learn to get comfortable with it. And God is the only one that can really help us do that. He is the granter of things like true happiness, the gladness of heart you get from doing the right thing in life. So we all have the power to do something, to illuminate somebody, to educate somebody, to empower somebody, to bring somebody out of confusion and ignorance. If they really are a good person and you think and they're worth it, then you've got to get it through that they could possibly be evil and not even know it. Unawares. So they're evil. I mean, they always knew somewhere in the back of their mind maybe their values are corrupt, but they always thought, no, I go to church and I value God and I believe in this and that, and I want God's will to be done. I pray the Lord's Prayer. But you see, like Jesus said, many in that day are going to call on me, I'm going to say, you away from me, all you evildoers. I never knew you. And it said over and over again, you've got to have oil in your lamps. The parable of the 10 virgins. You've got to have enough substance there. Okay, you want to have cultivated the right values for a long enough period of time. Like it's talked about again in Revelation, that, hey, how I wished you were hot or cold. He's talking about the certain caliber of people that missed the mark, that didn't have enough oil in their lamps, that weren't prepared enough, that they were caught with their pants down like a thief in the night. And they, excuse me, and they didn't make it. But it says in Revelations that they make him want to vomit. So it says he spewed them out of his, so he barfs them up. He vomits them out of his mouth. Essentially, that means that you're going to the other place where those souls that aren't fit to be around the decent, upright people that are really willing to lay all their cards on the table. And God help us if we can live together in peace and harmony, safety, security, freedom, and prosperity across the board. Please, God, find a way, because I'm willing to use my God-given talents. I'm just so grateful to exist and to be a part of this magnificent cosmic tapestry that you provided us called human existence. We're made just a little lower than the angels. We're like little gods, your children. We're beloved beyond all understanding. And, it's just a beautiful thing that you've given us. And forever, you're never going to take it back. We get to keep all the good things that we glean in our lives, and all the refuse is going to go if we trust wholly in you. I mean, this is a great thing. This is the good news. This is the offering of eternal life, not in a crap hole that keeps getting crappier and crappier, like I've had to watch my whole stinking life, but in a paradise, man, where there's nobody there pushing you around, bullying you around, trying to get a one-up on you, that doesn't want to be there if they can't have an advantage over you, that would rather rule in hell than serve in heaven. Well, I'm not one of those people. Are you? We all need, as individuals, we need to make up our minds and then do something. I mean, that passage I read from the book of Luke about, hey, use worldly wealth to win friends. I mean, who gives a crap? Win, fail, I mean, succeed. It's just, you know what? It's a bunch of nonsense. It's all temporal, ephemeral, temporary. Okay, it's fleeting, like a dream. We all know this whole existence that we call so tangible and real, and all the flesh and blood body and all this stuff, our five senses, our human existence. It's just a body, and it's like a dream. We know we got to give it up, just like any dream. No matter how good it is, at some point you realize, it's just a dream. Like when I fell into the arms of my beloved and we became one. I mean, the quivering and the beauty of the dream was just beyond description. Practically, there's hardly words to describe it. But I don't want to get into gushing about this gal, but ever since that happened, I mean, you could put me on a polygraph. This really happened, and it's just, wow. I'd seen her before, and when I woke up, I thought, how few dreams I ever remember, but I remembered her because we just stared into each other. She's just the cutest, prettiest, most beautiful, sweetest. I mean, to me, she's just the perfect. She's got the perfect face of a lady that is just, I don't know, and her eyes are so alluring to me that I just want to fall into them. And that's what happened in the dream. We became one. But it was very real, very lucid, very vivid, very clear, very memorable, something I'll never forget for the rest of my life. And this gal, turns out she's single, and she's too, I don't know, alluring for me. I'm glad beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I don't think my tastes are that far-fetched. So I know there's got to be a lot of guys that see what I see. I think. I don't know. I kind of like to think that I'm the only guy that finds that attractive. I know there's better men than me for her out there. I'm definitely richer and smarter and nicer, probably, guys. But there's one thing that there's not guys that would appreciate her more. And so I'm still carrying the torch for her gladly, because she's a great prize. I'll be patient. I'm very happy to have a chance at her hand, because she needs to be married. I really think so, because she must be she's driving me nuts being single. But I don't demand take over her life. I'm the kind of guy that just, I want her to have all the freedom she wants. I would live separately. I mean, to me, that would really, sometimes familiarity breeds contempt, and I don't want to move in on her. I don't want anything from her except a little tiny bit of her time, whatever she wants to give me. And I mean, I think that we are perfect for each other because I'm able to keep myself busy, and I believe she is too. And that works out just fine. I'm not looking for that, but anyhow, I did get off on a tangent and started gushing about her because I'm very much smitten still. I've just got to keep my cool here and try to stay on track of what I'm talking about. But remember, these evil people at the top, now they wouldn't want, let's say it's a really evil person with $1 billion. Remember, they don't want $10 billion.